Hello, the people of CAT's course building people. I know you haven't seen me for absolutely ages. It's ridiculous, isn't it? But here I am. I'm back again, and I've actually moved forward, which is fantastic. I've actually got an online training course, which is hopefully going to be released on the 29th of this month, July. Yes, so that's definitely moving forward. I've also finally got my customized Rubik's Cubes. I think I've spoken about these before, but I just wanted to kind of mention that they are now here. There's a little picture of me on the back there. And I'm going to use this as part of the prop as to the little training video I'm going to do here now. So, is time travel possible? And the simple answer to that is yes. Well, kind of. In that, of course, we can all travel into the past and remember what's happened in our past. So we can put ourselves, imagine ourselves back in the past at a time when some event had happened, and we can recreate that event in our minds, and it'll and we can smell the smells, we can hear the sounds, we can see what we can see, we can taste what we needed, what we tasted, and all those kind of good things that particularly people who have ever had any experience of NLP is concerned will recognise. And my camera's doing some weird refocusing things. I'm just going to wipe the lens just in case there's any help from wiping the lens. And seems not. It's doing that weird blah, blah, blah. What's going on there? Anyway, so you can go back and experience the past. You can also do the similar sort of thing to the future. So you can create a future and you can imagine what your future is going to be like. I have a feeling I've done this kind of thing before in a previous life, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to teach you it again now and with slightly different information now. And so you can also create an imaginary future for yourself as well, and put yourself where you are in the future. And one of the things I talk about a lot is that if you have a really clear image as to where you're going to, then you'll find it much easier to find all little signs around you that will lead you to that final destination. I did the Camino de Santiago 500-mile walk across Spain in 2016, and I just went back there again last week or the week before to plan my walking retreats for the last 100 kilometers from Santiago to Finisterre. And again, I was reminded as I was walking along there, because there was a couple of places there where you're walking along the road and there's two possibilities in front of you and you're not quite sure which one to take. And then you see a little yellow arrow on the ground or on a lamppost or something that says go this way or go that way. And there's little arrows that point you in the direction of where you need to go. But that's only possible if you knew exactly which direction to go. And actually, on the walk from Santiago to Johnny, hey Johnny, I don't know why I said Dan. When you're walking from Santiago to Finisterre, there's a point at which the road splits, and there's two pillars, and there's a yellow arrow that goes left and a yellow arrow that goes right. So again, you have to know whether you're going to Finisterre or Murcia to decide which direction you want to go in. Plus, on the road, there's also yellow arrows going back the way you just came from, taking you back to Santiago. Because of course you can also walk from Santiago to Finisterre to Murcia and back to Santiago again, or you can go from Santiago to Murcia to Finisterre and back again. So all of these things are possible, but you have to know where you're heading to be able to know which arrows to follow that will point you in the direction of the place you're trying to get to. Anyway, back to whether or not time travel is possible. Now obviously that's time travel in the future, when you're imagining where you're going to be in the future and then you're taking a step along the journey that's going to take you to that destination that you've created. But can you change the past? Can you change the past? That's the key thing. And the simple answer to that is not really. But kind of is also a good answer to that as well. So when you look back in the past at a certain some event that's happened, if you have a negative emotion that's associated with that event in the past that's happened, you can change the way you feel about that event in the past. And so therefore you can kind of change the effect that event in the past has actually had on you. But you can also go one step further and change your memories of that past event as well. So if you actually go back, and because the more times you tell a story about a particular event, your brain starts to re-encode that story and remember it. So, oh, you told this story a lot of times, so therefore this is something I need to remember. But of course, if you start telling the story either in a different way, so if you lie effectively to yourself about the story, and you keep repeating that story over and over again, you eventually believe the version of the story that you've created in your own mind, because that's how your brain works, that's how your memory works. So effectively, and this is why, for example, you can have somebody who tells a lie about a specific event in police work, for example, and they tell that lie enough times and they repeat the story enough times, then when you go on a lie detector test actually comes out that they're telling the truth, because in their own head they are telling the truth. And so they have actually changed their memory of the past events, and now they believe the new versions of the past events. And so we're kind of running out of time because that was a really quick one. So as an example, I was going to say with this Rubik's Cube is, if I, obviously it's all fixed up perfectly now, and if I was to mess it all up, I could then say, oh my God, it's a terrible mess, and I kind of wish I hadn't messed it up in the first place. Can I go back and fix the cube and change it so that it's not messed up anymore? Well, the answer, of course, is no, because physically I can't go back in time and change that. But what I can do is change the meaning to it. So I could get upset about the fact that I messed it up. But I could also just change that meaning and go, well, actually, I messed it up on purpose because I want to learn how to unscramble it. I want to learn how to put it all back together again in the way that it should be. And of course, if I've done it the right way, then I can do that very easily. That's just a kind of a magic trick I just did then. But I can actually solve the whole cube in 60 seconds. Now, my record, by the way, is now 59 seconds and 15 seconds, 59 seconds and 59.15 seconds, basically. Okay, so that's about 6 minutes I think we've been talking for now. Summary of the whole thing is, yes, you can time travel because you can imagine yourself in the past and you can recreate time in the past. Yes, you can imagine yourself in the future and you can head towards a future that you've created for yourself, and you can see all the signs in your life that are taking you towards that future direction. You can also change the emotions and the feelings you have on a past event, so you can change the way you feel about a past event. So somebody said something bad to you, you can choose to not feel bad about it. You can think, oh, well, actually they said that because of something that was going on in their lives. There's a classic story about a man on a tube, and he's got his children running around like crazy, and somebody says, why can't you control your children? He says, oh, I'm sorry, their mum's just died and I don't quite know what to do about it. So suddenly the person's emotions about how he was feeling about that father and his children went from angry because the children were running around being annoying to a huge amount of sympathy for the father and children who've just lost their mother and wife. So you can change the emotions you have about an event by changing your thought patterns around that event, and you can also actually change the memories you have of that previous event by telling a different story about the event, or just not telling the bad stories and focusing only on the good stuff, which is why, as part of my 15 steps, and we'll finish off with this, one of those things is gratitude. And that's probably the wrong way around on this image, but that says gratitude, and there's a little image of this on the other side, just there you go. Because if you every night before you go to bed, you spend some time writing down at least 3 things that have been good during the day, 3 things you're grateful for, 3 things you've achieved, even better, and go to sleep thinking about all the positive things that have happened from the day. And the next morning when you wake up, you look at the list of the things that were good from the day before, and then you're starting off the day with a positive feeling about the day ahead. And that's fantastic as well. It's a really, really cool exercise. So you've lived the good stuff originally, you've relived it just before you go to bed, your brain is storing those mental pathways, the good things, and then the next morning when you wake up, you're going, I remember all this really good stuff that happened yesterday. So that's a difference to going to bed going, oh, I wish I'd done this, and I wish I'd done that, and I should do this, and then waking up the next morning going, oh my God, I've got to do those things I didn't do yesterday, and all that kind of stuff. That's all negativity. Try and create positivity in your life. And so, in conclusion, before I finish off, yes, you can you can time travel. You can definitely time travel, but only inside your own head, of course. And yes, you can change the past, at least anyway, by adjusting the way you remembered the past. That's as simple as that. If you've got any questions, put them below and I'll try and answer them in the future. But I'm aware that that's taken me almost 9 minutes to talk that through and do that little training course. So anyway, I'm back. Hurrah! Bye for now.